Will there be a regular meeting schedule for this ad hoc committee, or how could houses solicit information or get involved?
Well, if any house at any point has a concern about how the work hour system is operating, all they need to do is send somebody to the ad hoc committee, which, by the way, they will get credit for doing as part of the work hour system. This ad hoc committee will meet once every
Week.
this ad hoc committee will
I believe.
meet once every week, and that will be a time to air grievances, so to speak.
To air grievances. Now, well, what's an example? What's an example of a grievance that the ad hoc committee might address?
Okay, my co-op got a phone call from the human resources officer last week, telling us that we had to send somebody to MCC on a Saturday morning to stuff envelopes. And we're a small co-op, and everybody already had plans for that morning. Half the people were out of town, and we just couldn't do it. That's so unfair. Now, what I would expect the ad hoc committee to do about a situation like that is say, well, let's talk about what sort of tasks your co-op is able to perform on relatively short notice.
Mhm.
Let's talk about your schedules, what you can handle,
Mhm.
and let's make sure that this sort of thing doesn't happen again.
Okay, so so the small house resolves the issue through the ad hoc committee. How's the rest of the community going to know about this?
Well, at the ad hoc committee, somebody will be taking notes, and that person will post these notes to the discussion group that we have online for the work hour system.
And what about the Sparklegram?
Well, the Sparkle every Sparklegram and every board packet actually will have sort of a spreadsheet describing what work has gotten done
Oh.
and, well, how many hours, maybe not a list of every task, but how many hours of work
Mhm.
have gotten done by which co-op, and how close each co-op is to hitting its sort of target percentage of hours.
Oh, interesting.
Now I have a question for you, Rick. How
Oh,
might a
okay.
spreadsheet like that appear? What would it look like?
Well, we have an example of a spreadsheet already.
Oh, we do?
Yes, we do.
Let's take a look at it.
The spreadsheet, and maybe you want to zoom in on this to get a better view of it. Um, the spreadsheet program uses the occupancy formula to determine each house's responsibility to the co-op system. And that occupancy formula is proportionate to a number of factors. But roughly it relates to the overall portion of Madison Community Co-ops that a house occupies. So Ambrosia has approximately 15% of the responsibility for the organization, and a smaller house like Centerby has about 4.5%. Now, this summary page totals up all of the hours that houses have invested in the organization during the accounting period. And it adds them up and it calculates the actual percentage of MCC hours the house has worked, and then it calculates the percentage discrepancy. So if a house is way behind in their hours, they can be assigned additional hours and get caught up. So
That's great.
now, as an example of individual accounting, we can go to one of the tabs on the bottom here, and there's a tab for each house. This first tab is Ambrosia. We go over here, and we can enlarge this a little bit. The human resources officer will come in here, and they'll enter in something new. So currently, if you look at this view, we have the occupancy formula puts this house at 29 people, and currently for this period thus counted, the house has worked 45 hours. And in the system, you'll see that we count board reps. Ambrosia, as a large house, has 2 board reps. The maintenance officer, currently Wiley, John Wiley is the maintenance officer, and we've given maintenance officers credit for 25 hours. And then they regularly attend the finance committee and membership committee, and each one of those committees is given 5 hours of attendance per month.
Mm-hmm.
What the human resources officer might do is come in here and add a new line, and that could be tutoring. How do you spell tutoring, Ben?
Tutoring.
How do you type, Ben?
I hope you're not tutoring English, are you?
No, tutoring math.
Good.
So tutoring math for 2 children.
Sure.
2 children. And this person put in 3 hours this month doing so. Now, when I add this, 3 to here, the value for total hours updates to 48, and then that value is automatically reflected in the actual percentage of hours that Ambrosia has worked.
Mm.
So it's a very dynamic system.